my outline for my presentation today. Imagine you're 17 years old and it's your senior year of high school and you have a high school sweetheart who's taking you to prom and you have your college classes picked out for the fall and you have a lot of friends. Everything seems to be going really good, but then all of a sudden you get the news that you're pregnant and everything changes. Your high school sweetheart who you thought was going to love you forever and support you checks out. Your so-called friends who were going to be there for you don't want to be around you because it's not cool to be friends anymore with the pregnant girl. And you can't even think about the future because how can you think about college in the fall if you don't even know how you're going to afford your health bills? You see, you would feel scared and panicked and alone. And so you do some research because you don't think this could be the only option. So as you're researching, you see Planned Parenthood and you click on it. And when you click on it, it gives you finally some hope that there is affordable health care out there and that for the first time in a long time, you feel safe. You see, Planned Parenthood isn't just for the 17-year-old girl that I'm talking about. It's for the girl that's next to her and the girl that's next to her. Without it, they wouldn't be okay. So today I want to discuss what it provides, why we shouldn't defund Planned Parenthood, and how we're going to protect the organization. Most of you are probably wondering what Planned Parenthood is. Basically, Planned Parenthood helps women all over the board. It's one of the most known organizations in America, and it helps a lot of people out when they feel stuck. It really helps a lot of poor people out, and if we take this away, it strips away the access of health care, sexual education, and just the freedom of knowing your own body. What Planned Parenthood provides is STD checking, cancer screenings, and birth control. You see, if we don't care about Planned Parenthood, people are just walking around sick, and nobody is caring about these people walking around. And it's just not humane to not care about humans. Like that, it's so simple to just help these people. And that's why Planned Parenthood is awesome, because it helps you. Planned Parenthood focuses on women's health and provides services for those who need it the most. Rebecca Harrington from Business Insider says. Why a lot of people wanted to fund Planned Parenthood is because automatically when you hear Planned Parenthood, you think abortion clinic. And though that is something that these services do, you have to understand that only 3% of it is what it caters to. The rest is helping women and making sure that they're safe. A lot of religious people also don't like Planned Parenthood because they think it's a sin to have an abortion, and that's fine, but no one's putting a gun to your head. They're holding your hand and helping you make these decisions, but they're letting you make these decisions. They're not forcing it onto you. They're letting you know there's other options, and they're letting you know that it's okay, and that if you need a safe place, that's what Planned Parenthood provides. The current plan to replace the Affordable Care Act put into these plans to disallow states to use direct spending of prohibited entities with federal funds, Rebecca Harrington says. You see, a lot of times, and this is no offense to men, but men are the ones that lately have been wanting to defund it. And I just don't think it's fair for any man to make a decision about a woman's body, because realistically, what does a man know about a woman's body? There exists a lack of knowledge or an ignorance of facts about what Planned Parenthood actually does, as well as the pro-life versus pro-choice battle. Matt Ford, The Atlantic, said on March 22nd, 2017. We have to spread awareness, and we have to protect this because it's so important. You can't defund something that's going to help people. The way that we can protect it is to not be scared of the word Planned Parenthood. We have to talk to each other. We all have a voice, and we need to be heard. Just like the Women's March that happened a few months ago, we have to, all be together, and, we could join these marches, and we could, look up more research on the matter. It's important. The attacks on women's health over the last 2 years have given rise to a new generation of activists, and we have seen it firsthand at Planned Parenthood, said Dawn from Feminist Studies. So I hope when you heard today what I'm saying that maybe it made you think of somebody specifically, like your mother, your sister, maybe your aunt, or honestly maybe even yourself. So we all have to stick together. And if this girl, the 17-year-old girl that I was talking about at the beginning of this, if she didn't have Planned Parenthood, where would she really be today? Does anybody have any questions?
Yes.
You have a question?
My question is, why is Planned Parenthood so important specifically for you?
Planned Parenthood is so important to me because a lot of people don't know this, but I have polycystic ovaries, which are cysts on your ovaries, and I got diagnosed this a few years ago. I couldn't afford it any other way if I didn't go to Planned Parenthood. So without Planned Parenthood, I couldn't get my birth control for that matter, and I would still be sick. So in a lot of ways, Planned Parenthood saved me. Does anybody else have another question?
I have a question. Do any celebrities support Parenthood?
Planned Parenthood. Yeah, actually, a lot of them do. Meryl Streep does. A lot of famous ones that Lena Dunham. Even men celebrities support it, like Anne Somerhalder and Leonardo DiCaprio. It's a really good question. Is there any other questions?
Yes.
In the back.
Do you believe that it is a stereotype that Planned Parenthood is only for abortions?
Yeah, just like what I was saying in my presentation, I do feel that way because, like I just said, it's only 3% of what they do there. They help a bunch of people, and when you hear Planned Parenthood, a lot of people attach, abortions to it, but that's not all that they're doing. They help individuals, and that could afford it. Any other questions? None? Thanks, guys.